Welcome to The Good Work, a podcast and video series that follows The Event Company, an event design company that specializes in corporate, nonprofit, and social events. Our passion lies in creating one-of-a-kind events that share the good work of organizations we are fortunate to collaborate with. Tune in for conversations with leaders of these great groups, our best advice for your next event, and some behind-the-scenes moments. Now, let us show you the good work. In this episode of The Good Work, you'll meet John Meyer, co-founder and CEO at Lemonly. Lemonly is an infographic design company here in Sioux Falls that is known not only for its great visuals, but their emphasis on company culture. John and I will talk about the importance of company culture in the workplace, and we may even share a few more details of our upcoming entrepreneurial celebration, Hey Sioux Falls. Please welcome to this week's podcast, Mr. John Meyer. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to today's vodcast. Today, we have John Meyer with us of Lemonly. Thanks so much for joining us today, John.
I'm excited to be here. This is fun.
We're going to talk all things company culture, hear a little bit of background about Lemonly. We've got some upcoming entrepreneurial events happening in the community. So let's get started. I want to hear a little bit of your background. I know it personally. I could probably share it about the $5,000 check or whatever. Yep. And but I want to hear about how Lemonly even came to be.
Sure. Yeah. So I grew up in Brookings and went to school in a little school in Northeast Iowa called Luther College. And I was a communication major because I always say now is I had no idea what the hell I wanted to do. Right? Like
the easy way out.
As entrepreneurs, I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure you didn't think you would be one, right?
Do you know I went to school for criminal justice and poli-sci. I was going to be an attorney.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you have no idea what you want to be when you're
that right.
Age,
or even, I mean, maybe now people do, but I didn't really know what entrepreneur was at that time.
Yeah.
I was just like a kid who was in choir, a theater nerd, a debate kid, and I liked to talk. I liked to work with people, and so I chose the easy way, which was being a communication major. Had no idea what I wanted to do. The spring semester of my junior year, I took entrepreneurship, which I actually usually tell people. Now that being a parent, I would tell my daughter not to be an entrepreneurship major, right? Because you learn it by doing it, right? There's no textbook that'll teach you how to do this. And so, but the one good thing about that class was the instructor would bring in entrepreneurs. You know, imagine like you coming in my class, and if I wanted to be in the event space, that would be a game changer for me. And so this guy came in and he told me how he could work from wherever, and he did Google ads and SEO. And the bell rang and the whole class ushered out, and I walked up to him and I said, have you ever had an intern? He said, meet me tomorrow at the coffee shop. And I had put my suit on and brought my little resumes and everything, thinking I was going to have an interview. And Jason just said, all right, here's what you're going to do first. I'm going to teach you how to do this, and you can work from wherever as long as you have a laptop. And my whole world kind of opened up to this idea. So, but then I didn't go entrepreneur. I thought about working with him after I graduated, but I got a job with companies would come to Luther for these job fairs, and so I got a job with a company called Accenture, which is a really big global consulting company. 3 rounds of interviews. Moved up to Minneapolis. I worked at the big corporate headquarters there. And I would go to the Best Buy headquarters, was like the client that I was assigned on. About 6,000 people would go to work there every day.
Wow.
And I just felt like, I thought that was what I was supposed to do, right? Like what I was groomed to do or what my parents told me I should do. And really quickly, I just felt like I didn't fit in. Like I felt like if I didn't show up for work today, no one would really notice. And so that was the start of kind of this idea of what if I could be an entrepreneur? My older brother, Scott, who was living in Norway at the time, he came back to Brookings, and through the Enterprise Institute, which is a great resource for entrepreneurs, found a brochure for a program in Sioux Falls called, at that time, the N2 Tech. It's now the Zeal Accelerator. Was a $15,000 grant, and we spent a weekend before we went back to Norway to write a business plan and submitted the ideas of what became 9 Clouds. So that was the first, my first step into the entrepreneurial journey. So we moved back 9 years ago. And started that company, which he runs today, along with Sarah Carnes. And about 2 years into that, Amy, who was our first employee at 9 Clouds, she and I started to see on the internet in 2011, there was these things called infographics that were really exploding. And what we found is that they were all over. It seemed like every third tweet had the word infographic in it, and TechCrunch and Mashable and Time Magazine and Food Network. But a lot of them weren't very good. They were just, because they were infographics, they were cool, right? And so we said, what if we do that one thing and do that one thing really well? And so Lemonly was actually just a little project underneath 9 Clouds that she and I started. And very quickly, it kind of consumed our jobs. And I told Scott, like, we're going to go for this thing. And we rolled it out and it became a company.
Good for you.
So that's August of 2011. So we just celebrated 7 years.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not picture you in like suit and tie, walking
Right?
with a briefcase, first of all.
I know. I didn't
Or
have a
any of
briefcase,
those.
but I had
You
the
know what I
leather
mean?
bound,
Like,
yeah.
Padfolio.
Padfolio, yeah.
I do not imagine that at all. There's just not you.
But even like the badge, the little
Yeah.
badge that hooks in like the Zooms, right?
Yeah, when I was in corporate America, that's what my day was like, day in and day out. I was in Chicago and St. Louis and traveling all over the country, and
Sure.
I would be in suits every single day. And
Yeah.
I know when I launched the company, I said, no more suits, not happening. I went to Dress for Success, no joke, unloaded
Gave 'em
everything.
all
Yeah.
away. Well, I think,
it's not me.
I don't know how you feel, because you probably work with clients like that. We
Yeah.
don't as much, or at least not in person, since
Yeah.
we're pretty virtual. But I'm so grateful for those. It ended up being 11 months. My dad said stick it out for a year. I made it 11 months. But
Yeah.
because even just from jargon to how those people make decisions, you realize, lots of it's budget money based. And then even I think it made me hungrier to make sure that we succeeded as entrepreneurs, because I
Right.
didn't want to go back to that.
Yeah, me too. That's what I think about. Where'd the name come from? I don't even think I know the name story. I mean, that's always fun
So I
and
always say
interesting.
there's like the marketing story and then
Yeah.
the true story. The marketing story is we take your boring data, your lemons, and turn it into lemonade.
Yeah.
Always sweet, never sour. I always tell people a brand is what you make it, not what you call it, right?
Right.
So now
Yeah.
it's made itself into infographic themed cocktail recipes with lemons. We send lemon bars to our clients in the mail.
The different chunks of the lemons are different colors for different things that
different
we've seen.
things
Yeah.
of our business.
Yeah.
Yep. And so that became later, but the true story was just I had the domain at that time, 2011. There was a lot of .lys kind of emerging,
Yeah.
and with 9 Clouds, I was sick of telling people on the phone, email me John with an H at 9, the number 9, not the word clouds like in the sky, ink.
That's
INC.
a lot of explanation.
I know. I was so sick of that, and so it's just like I wanted to be able to say it. So just John at Lemonly, and it
That's
kinda
how it
just,
happened.
That was the real story. Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about, people ask us all the time, like, how'd you come up with your name? And even when we say it, people are like, the event company. So like, what do you do? Like,
For real?
Yeah, oh, we get it all the time, John. And we're like, we do events. They're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. We get it all the time.
Because for you being more of a regional,
Yeah.
well, I know
Yeah.
you have clients all over
That's
now,
okay, yeah.
but it's, I think for SEO, for search, it's super great.
Yeah.
Like,
People have no, but I had 26 names written in my Padfolio at that
Really?
time. Yeah, from Corporate America Padfolio. And I had 26 different
Sure.
names written down. And I kept thinking, like, what is it going to be? And I remember sitting at the stoplight and talking to Drew on the phone. I'm like, why can't it be just something like the event company?
Yeah.
And that's how it came to be. Like, there was no brilliance behind
Sure.
it by any means. And
Yeah.
now there's one in Dubai.
Oh,
and
no way.
we get Singapore people or Singapore
Tweets and stuff.
calling us all the time. We get calls and then we get emails and people that want to apply for internships, and we're not
That's
in
great.
Dubai. Yeah, it happens
Yeah,
all the
I
time.
think people worry too much, and I would even say we did too at the time, about the domain or the real estate.
Yeah.
Nowadays with mobile, it's really much, and pretty soon it won't even be typing. We'll just be saying
Right.
these things. So like the event company, South Dakota.
Yeah.
So be a name that you want. Be a name that you're excited
And you're
about.
proud
a name
of,
that
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That you want to own.
One of my favorite things about Lemonly, you and I talk a little bit about this, and I think you are very well known in the community for it, is culture and how you're integrating culture in your community. We talk a lot about it on our team and have from day one, because I did come from the stuffy suits day in and day out, and I knew that's not what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I want to hear like why it is such a big emphasis at Lemonly, because right now what we see from outsiders, and I'm sure you see it as well, people are trying to mimic that in their
Sure.
companies. And I know you do a lot of speaking engagements about culture, and you've got a whole separate project surrounding that separate business. So I want to hear more about the why behind it.
I think so. There's a business case, and then there's just, to me, the human case.
Yeah.
So the business, we can start business case because that's what people care about. For us, we're in the services company, much like you are, and our talent walks out the door every night, right? I remember actually being in Accenture, and it was a little bit, I thought the language was a little harsh, but as consultants, they said our talent is, our people are our asset, our greatest asset. And that always sounded a little like something on the balance sheet, but it makes sense, right? So at Lemonly, when everyone walks out the door at the end of the night or logs off their computer, because we have remote people, we're not making any money, right? Like the business is shut down, and we make art, we tell stories, we write great words, and so we need great people to do that. And so I think too many people are focusing on how do we tweak our marketing plan, or if we can get the perfect website or run the best commercial, but all those things have to be made by people. And so taking a step back and thinking of how do we build the best team, right? So I always like to use the word team and not family. So I'd recommend when you think about culture, like my people have their own families. I have a family, you have a family,
Right.
you have a husband, you have two great boys. And so that's your family. I don't need you to be, you can be friends with your colleagues at work, but we're a team. And I think when you use that teams, almost that sports analogy, just like your Huskers, right? We always are trying to get new recruits, up and coming talent. We got to develop the talent. And if there's a player that's maybe not cutting it, we have to upgrade the talent. When you think of it that way, I think then it starts to make sense. And so, there's a business case because we can only do work with we want to do top-notch, best-in-class work. So we need to recruit, we need to retain, and we need to develop our talent. I'd like to think that the only thing that's holding us back from growing is just how many great people we can hire.
Right.
I
think it's a lot of
obviously
different
we need the
cases.
business too to justify the people who do the work. But so that's the ROI case, and we can talk about retention, the cost of hiring, the talent, all that. But then there's just that human case, which to me is, and maybe part of my corporate experience informed that, but I want people to come to Lemonly, whether it be Monday or Friday, and they don't even really notice what day it is. Yeah. They're probably excited for the weekend, but when they come back on Monday, they're as excited. We spend minimum 40, I know you guys do way more hours a week than that, of our week at work, and how much of our life, if we extrapolate that, probably don't want to look at that data, but if we're going to spend that much time, let's do it in a purposeful, meaningful way.
Yeah, I think from our standpoint as well, we do. I mean, some events we're together 15 plus hours a day. And we've always looked, I think, as each other as a team, in that respect as well, because you're absolutely right. People spend 8, 10, 12, 15 hours a day with these people, but they do have families.
It's so much more stressful too, I would imagine.
Yeah, because you're dealing with so many different people, and you have people coming from different directions. Yeah, it's just like that. And it's so fun when we can incorporate our families into those events. But we work so hard together, but we play super hard together as well, which is a lot of fun. And I know you guys do that as well. I love your retreats that you do. And I know we both kind of do the No Fridays. Do you do No Fridays all year, or
we
just
do
a
summer hours? We call it. Yeah. So from Memorial Day to Labor Day, we just shorten the week.
And we try to, we have not worked Fridays for years.
Okay, cool.
But unless we have events, of course. I mean, that's the only caveat
and you're
to that.
Making that up.
For
weekends,
sure. Because we have some night meetings with people, and every day is so different. But I want to hear about the experiences that you do on your team, because I think we both attract those clients that kind of have that same company culture and that focus on employees and team and what that looks like. But you guys do a lot of fun stuff as well within.
Yeah, we try, and I think it's interesting your point about attracting clients, because I think we haven't fully realized that yet, but I think it's the next step. Is now businesses will start to not only choose their vendors because of their great work or their great service, but also because of their core values and their philosophy.
I mean, the best part too, and I'm not trying to be crass with it by any means, but we as business owners get to pick and choose, in a sense, who we get to work with. Yeah. And if it doesn't mesh with our culture, or it just doesn't feel right for us, we're not in corporate America where you have somebody that says, you got to meet your quota, right?
Yeah. Stock price.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the best parts of being able to find those clients and find the work or attract that right fit for your team. But
I think it's important. Like, I'm trying to tell people this isn't just lip service, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm also trying to run this as a business. Like, I think people look at us and assume, well, it's easy for you guys to say you're just printing money or something. It's like, no, we're a services company. We're trying to strive for 20% profit margin.
Exactly.
We have a business too, and so but we also believe that culture is our secret advantage. It's not just something we put on our website so it sounds good, like a shiny gloss that you put over the business.
Yeah. You live and breathe it every day with your team. You've got awesome huddles. Yeah. You've got that awesome stadium thing that I don't know what you call stadium seating.
Stairs,
Yeah. I mean, just little things like that, which I think are just awesome pieces.
I think of, as a non-designer who owns a design company, I always like to use the word design as a capital D, right? And so you can design a space. You can, this better than anything, design an experience, an event. So we're trying to design the company, the workflow, the meetings, the emails, the thank you notes around creating a culture. Yeah. And that's owned internally by all the people from top to bottom, but it's felt externally, by our clients, and they feel proud to work with Lemonly, and I think you guys are like us too, where we do about 2% of our business in South Dakota. I'm sure you guys do more, but now as you get more national, our clients in New York and San Francisco, it's so foreign to them.
Oh, for sure.
They're amazed that we send the lemon bars and the handwritten thank you note. And so again, that's where it starts to become a strategic advantage.
Yeah. When you talk about company culture and creating that, it starts really probably from your interviews.
Sure, yeah.
Interns, interviews, that whole process through. Do you have a committee at the office that kind of leads up some of those activities? And because everybody in your team lives and breathes it, obviously. But
so I think it starts first with those core values, right? Yeah. And so we have those words on on the wall, and really knowing what you believe. And I'm guessing in smaller organizations like ours, it's a lot of times a reflection of the CEO or the founding team. But what do you believe as an organization? And your whole team lines up and also lives and breathes that. But then from there, I think hiring every touch point along the way, we have for the kind of eventish stuff, we have a party planning committee, which we stole from The Office, the TV show.
Love it. Yeah.
So you can learn from that. And it's just a group of five people, and it changes every year. We're having this kind
That's awesome. Yeah. You change it up.
Yeah.
That's
and so
incredible.
For the retreat, they have a document that says the 2017 retreat, here's our budget, here's what we spent, here's where we went. Try to stay close to that. Yeah. And then they're the ones. And I love it. I think the analogy we created it once was not an analogy, but the reference was we went to a Canaries game one time and did the whole right field party deck. And I realized that I think we were maybe 8 or 9 employees then. No one liked baseball except me, right? Like I'm a huge baseball fan. We work with Major League Baseball. Yeah. But I was like suggesting this team outing, and most people were like, "Well, I'll drink the beer and eat a brat, but I don't really like baseball." And so you need to be in touch with letting them. That's one so easy way to let them own the culture,
right?
Because once they own it, then they go out and they become cheerleaders of it, right? If someone ever, I know that my employees have been out in Sioux Falls, and someone said like, "Where do you work?" "Oh, I work at Lemonly." "Oh, I don't know. I've heard about them. What do they do?" Like they probably don't know what they do, but they've heard about us because of our culture.
We try to do a little bit of the same where we let our team choose the experiences that we do. We try to get these activities every month and do different things. We went curling as a team. We did a little paint class. Oh, I'm a bad curler, by the way. No pictures of that will ever make anywhere, but that's not good.
But the vodcast with the curling footage.
But we try to do these different things. We've done hiking, and we're doing the kayaking thing here soon. And first of all, our team is super active. That's just our lifestyle, and we try to incorporate that within the team. We do walking meetings and just different things. Like you do walking meetings too. But we try to let them choose. Just so it's not a top down, it's getting them involved. We don't have a specific party planning committee because we are the party.
You guys are sick of planning other people's parties.
But that's what we try to do on the team. But we also make sure that we are involved in 1 Million Cups. And, that's just part of what we do. I mean, you were one of the original founders of 1 Million Cups, and getting your team there. I know I've seen them there time and time again as well. And having those activities is also important for us as a
collaboration is one of our core values, right?
Yeah.
And that for us means collaboration with our colleagues, each other, collaboration with our clients, and collaboration with our community. And community doesn't just mean Sioux Falls, but hopefully the region, the United States, the world.
Yeah.
And so you have to, those words aren't just also words on the wall. We have to live and breathe them and act and show examples of them. And so, like 1 Million Cups is an example of that.
Tell me about 1 Million Cups. What's your favorite part about it? Because you and I have been together doing 1 Million Cups, emceeing on and off.
I don't know, close to 100 together.
A lot together since 2014. And I always tell people the story how I got wrangled into 1 Million Cups. I spoke once. I did the party hats thing. It was in August of 2014.
I remember that one.
You came up to me literally that day and said, "Hey, do you want to just join our committee?"
Did I?
Yes. I remember where I was standing at. Super smart on your behalf. And I'm like, sure, yep, I'll just join it. And from there, it just went down.
Do you think it's helped your business?
I do. I think in terms of awareness, but I have, just like you, a passion for entrepreneurs in our community. Yeah. My mother has owned businesses all her life, just sold her last one
I didn't know that.
A couple years ago. Cool. My husband owns his own construction company. His parents own a construction company. I feel like I live and breathe entrepreneurship and have for years. Yeah. So for me, I wasn't scared at all. You know, of course, to leave corporate salary, structure, of course, yes. But I think that's why 1 Million Cups is so important. You guys kind of made the jump about
at the same time, right? You and Drew?
Yeah, I jumped maybe about a year, maybe a little bit before him, but somewhere similar time frame.
Scary when both of you are doing it.
Super scary. And I mean, having that support, there wasn't much support at that time, I don't think, in 14, a little bit here and there. But I think that's why I've become so passionate about it. And I know that I've mentored a few people over the years. They have mentored me as well. You have as well with other people. And I think that's why I care so much about that 1MC community.
Yeah, and I think back to, I told that story at the beginning about Jason Trout is this guy's name. And I wouldn't have known what an entrepreneur was if I hadn't, sure, I guess I get credit for walking up to him, but he gets the credit for giving me a chance.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the biggest hurdle that most people have, I think a lot of people probably watching this, listening to this, maybe want to be an entrepreneur, and they're just waiting till the time is right. Like till there's enough money in the bank account, till the kids are a little bit older, until, something happens. And I can tell you now, the time will never be right.
Exactly.
It's really hard no matter what. But don't wait for someone to give you permission. Like I look back to that grant I mentioned.
Yeah.
And I think in hindsight, if we hadn't got the grant, we might not have done it. But we thought at the time the $15,000 was a big deal. Now I can't even make a payroll with $15,000. Right. But it was someone saying go for it, like giving us this check and saying we believe in you. And so I think that's what 1 Million Cups, at least it gives everyone a support group, right?
Yeah.
And I can't maybe help Jason like pay that back to him. He's in Iowa and I'm in South Dakota, but by doing 1 Million Cups, it almost feels like you're kind of passing the torch, right? Or like at least putting karma back into the world, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I love it. Yeah.
And I think, and I share this when we do when we MC, I say that this group truly cares about those people in that room.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a walk up, quick handshake. Like
some big fans.
It is incredible to see the support. And just by going up and talking to people, I think those barriers are not as high at that point. And it just gives them that opportunity to be able just to say, I'm a real person.
Yeah.
And how can I help you?
Yep.
Like I think of Julio with Inca just recently.
He was great.
It was awesome. But just to hear, like, he's a one-man show doing it all.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
And I think, we always tell the speakers, just tell the origin story because don't get the nitty-gritty of some new product you're launching.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you start to hear, and we've heard now, 4 years, so over 200 of them, we all kind of go through a lot of the same challenges in our origin stories. It could be from salsa to events to infographics. Yeah. We have similar threads.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is always fun.
So speaking of 1MC, we've got a really awesome event coming up here in a couple of weeks. Yes. Our Hey Sioux Falls.
Hey Sioux Falls, yeah.
And thank God John bought this domain.
Again, I had a domain.
You and your domain.
Squatting on.
You have this whole, I bet you have a whole list of domains.
There's a little bit of like a line of the budget item for like ideas that have never happened.
So talk to us a little bit about Hey Sioux Falls and what we're doing here in a couple weeks, because this is something incredibly new to the community. I love it because it's an event, but it also marries our entrepreneurial community together. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So I think I'm super glad we have you guys too to make it a great event.
Thanks.
But yeah, essentially that feeling of all these, so we just talked about that camaraderie and support that 1 Million Cups has. And now what we want to say is, hey, Sioux Falls, come see this, right? If you can't make 9 a.m. on Wednesdays work, if your boss doesn't let you get away from the daily grind, on a Thursday night, come and let's just have a party and celebrate these entrepreneurs. That means the companies, the nonprofits, the founders, the employees.
Right.
And it's just a night, it means just a night to celebrate and say, hey, Sioux Falls, there are cool things going on here. We're going to give away a few awards.
Yeah.
And I think it'll just be a fun night.
Yeah, let's recognize those people and lift them up because we've all gone through many trials.
Yeah, and still will.
Incredible triumphs over these years. Let's celebrate those people and some of them, to be honest, maybe behind the scenes that we have never heard of.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a really great pool of applicants that came in, and I know our team, the planning team, is kind of going through the decision-making process now of who's going to win those awards.
So I suppose by the time that you listen to this, you'll have the nominations, the nominees
will
be out.
Will be out, which will be exciting. So we're super excited. But go to Hey Sioux Falls.
Yeah, HeySiouxFalls.com. Thursday, September 13th at the Orpheum.
No cost to attend.
No, free, yeah. You can go to Eventbrite. Just reserve it so that our event planner knows how many.
I need to know head counts. I told that at one of the meetings. I said they got to reserve their tickets.
Yeah, maybe entrepreneurs aren't quite as good at RSVPing.
We need to know head counts.
But don't have to dress up.
No, not at all.
You have to wear clothes, but
pants are preferred. Pants are preferred. But yeah, it's not a fancy event. This is just a fun night to get out and celebrate everything that's happening in our community.
For anyone listening to this, bring your friend who's like kind of curious about entrepreneurship, right? Who's always wondered, like, what do those entrepreneurs do? Or maybe I want to be one someday. I think, we know we're going to we know our kind of core audience will be there to celebrate, but I want that next year to see what's going on in Sioux Falls. And that's, why we called it.
Aren't you so proud of 1MC?
Yeah, I'm amazed how, just how a a weekly event, and I still always compare it to like probably our grandfathers having coffee on Main Street when they were solving the world's problems. That's like our version of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is so much fun to look back. I mean, we've done 4 location changes. We keep growing out of spaces.
It is incredible, and it's awesome to see how the community is embracing it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it.
We've had the mayor. We had the last mayor, and we've had the
mayoral
current mayor
debates. We've had a lot of
debates. Yep.
Just a lot of awesome stuff.
And not just from Sioux Falls. We've had people coming through Fargo, Minneapolis, Arizona, California.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. But before we end, I am going to do a quick speed round with you.
Speed round, okay.
Top 10. I don't want you to think
David
about.
Letterman.
Yeah, it is like David Letterman.
Okay.
I do not want you to think about these. Just super quick.
Okay.
Rattle off the first thing that comes.
All right.
And keep it clean. What is your favorite color?
Green.
Oh, hey, mine too.
Yeah.
I'll try not to commentate here. What's your all-time favorite movie?
Toy Story.
Aw, Woody.
Buzz.
What would be one song on the soundtrack of your life?
That's a good one. I gotta think about the name of it, but there's that.
Do you want to sing it for all of our listeners today?
There's just that Macklemore song that always gets me. It's like my walk-up song.
Like Thrift Shop?
Not that one, but he's like, all right, okay. All right, okay. And there's like clapping.
We'll put a link.
It gets me pumped up.
Maybe
some background music.
That's awesome. What is your favorite time of the year?
Fall. Yeah.
I love fall.
Like football, brisk morning, sweatshirt.
Yeah, I love it. What's your favorite place that you've traveled?
Norway. I love Norway, yeah.
Awesome.
The motherland.
What's your favorite aisle in the grocery store?
Frozen foods. Ice cream.
Awesome. When you said frozen foods, I think of hash browns.
Oh, no, not like frozen. Yeah,
like
I guess.
veggies.
Is it next? I don't go to the grocery store that much.
Okay, we'll pass on that one. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I think, even better than flying, like teleporting. If I could just be in multiple places or get places faster.
If you could share a meal with one person, who would it be?
Does it have to be living?
Nope.
I'm a big fan of Theodore Roosevelt. Like, it sounds like he would be I like studying leaders and he was a compelling
I was just at the Lead Lodge in Nebraska City on the Arbor Day Foundation on their whole 260 acres.
That's where it started from, right?
Yeah, it was so cool to know like some of the rooms that Theodore Roosevelt was in and how he stayed a couple days.
Yeah.
And it was really awesome. If you could eat one meal or one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? One food.
Pasta.
Okay. Yeah, you can do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Can you make dessert pasta?
I don't need to. I'm more of a savory probably versus sweet. Yeah.
What's your one best piece of advice for anyone listening today?
I would say that part that we talked about taking permission, not to wait for it, to take it yourself. Because I'm a big believer in experiencing the journey more than the destination. And I think as entrepreneurs, we do have pretty big visions of what that destination looks like. We have things we want to accomplish. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I know it's going to be the journey, the moments, the people that are way more rich than the outcome. Right.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for joining us today. What an honor to have you here.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Love it.
Thanks for being my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening to today's episode of The Good Work. And thank you also to our special guest, John Meyer, for sharing his take on company culture in the workplace and to know when to take permission. Tune in to next week as Sarah and I talk about everyone's favorite topic, budgeting. Don't forget to subscribe to The Good Work on YouTube and iTunes and follow the event company on social media to stay up to date on the good work that we are part of each day.